right, welcome back to the program. As you could see there, Dr. Sirajo Salisu, the Executive Director now of JAIZ Bank, is joining me right now. JAIZ Bank is 10. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and it's my pleasure to be here.
It has to take 10 years for you guys to exist, for us to speak on this show.
Yes, definitely.
Congratulations on your
10th
year. Dr. Sirajo, where do we start from? And let me take myself back, memory lane, because I know that I was there many years ago when the concept of Islamic banking was being, milled, and then Sanusi Lamido Sanusi was the central bank governor with a lot of other stakeholders. And in fact, JAIZ Bank started operations in 2012. Precisely, you opened your doors on January 6th, January 2012. 10 years this year. What's the bank's mood right now? Let me start from there, because even from your face, I can see you're smiling.
I have to smile because we have to continue to give glory to God, our Creator, for sustaining us up to this level. We have not taken anything for granted. To appreciate Nigerians for the patronage. We continue to also appreciate our regulators for holding the hand of that young institution to stand up for their own understanding. And we need to rejoice. And we're happy, and that is why we're here.
I can see it is all in your face. Are you saying that the board, the management, and the staff also feels this way that you're feeling right now? Because I see the joy is really...
Yeah, I can't hide it because we are to a greater extent feeling fulfilled. We are feeling encouraged, especially when we see other players coming into the non-interest or Islamic banking, meaning that what you have pioneered is profitable, what you have pioneered is attractive, what we have pioneered is worthy of investing, and we are happy to see other players coming up to join us.
Let's still go back memory lane, because many years ago, like I said, some of us in the industry did talk about it. I've had several shows on Islamic banking. That time, a lot of people were so suspicious about the concept of Islamic. People know it popularly as Islamic banking. And of course, they had to say, okay, let's coin the language to non-interest, non-for-profit, and all of that. Can you really explain the concept of Islamic banking or non-interest banking or interest-free banking to people that perhaps are just hearing it for the first time or still do not understand? Can you just explain?
Thank you so much, but I'm not surprised the way you are so good with the memory of all what has been happening, and that is why you advertise, you want to now be on the street. I saw your advert, personal and business.
Yes.
We'll see what we can do and encourage.
Fantastic.
We'll see what we can do to encourage the younger ones. So on that misconception, starting with it, you see, globally it is being called Islamic banking. But like you rightly mentioned, when we came to Nigeria, they say, no, let's call it non-interest banking.
Because of sensibility.
Because of sensibility. But these are some of the breakthroughs. These are some of the achievements that today we can comfortably stand up and say, look, most of the people that were propagating for this have been vindicated. It was not an attempt for Islamization. It was not an attempt to introduce some religious businesses, but it was purely business. And people are now beginning to understand, to believe that Islamic banking is purely business. It's a type of banking that is transaction-based. It's a type of banking that is full of transparency. It's a type of banking that is very sincere, very open. It's a type of banking that is full of justice, and nobody in business wants to be cheated, regardless of where you are from. Do you want to be cheated in your business? Nobody wants to be cheated in his business, and that is Islamic banking.
So, it's nice that you said all of this, because I remember those days, really. Part of some of us in the industry were like, okay, this is not it, this is what it is. That Nigeria can actually also gain from Islamic financing across the world. But how has JAIZ Bank been operating in terms of the interest-free model? Can you just explain? Because if you say, okay, no interest, how does it work? Are there charges and all of that? What have you been doing, your operating model in the last 10 years?
Okay, so thank you once again. You see, the financial consequence or the financial implication to the customer is the same. We are not an NGO. We are in business to make profit, and we are only saying it is the application of the business that differs. Like what we used to educate people to say, when you come to an Islamic bank and you want to finance, let's say you are into the business, you want to buy some laptops and sell. We are not just going to give you credit to your account and give you money, say you want to go and buy laptops. We need to identify where you are buying the laptops from. We need to identify the quality. We need to identify your understanding of the market. We need to identify who is your vendor. Then we now pay that vendor directly. We need to make sure that you take delivery of those laptops. We need to ask you from the laptop of 1,000, how much are you selling? Maybe you are selling 1,200, and that is the 200 naira that we are going to share. And when we say profit sharing, a lot of people think as if we are going to do 50-50. 90-10 is sharing. 99-1 is sharing. 50-50 is also sharing. So depending on our involvement in your business, depending on also your own contribution into that business, will determine the profit sharing. If you enjoy, we enjoy together. If you suffer, we suffer together. And so that is the major difference between Islamic banking and the conventional banking.
So the operating model of JAIZ Bank in the last 10 years has been, from your explanation, you share profit together. If there are losses too, you bear it together.
Definitely.
But you make sure that you don't try to get losses.
Make sure that we don't.
So from what I can deduce from what you have said now is that you've been with your customers along the way of the value chain. Is that how you have been operating in the last 10 years?
You have gotten it right, because you can call Islamic banking also partnership banking.
Okay.
We take you as a partner, and that is why when you are happy, we are happy. When you are not happy, we shouldn't be happy. That is the business.
Is it just Muslims that you've attended to in the last 10 years? Or it's a bank for even non-Muslims?
You see, that is why we said Islamic banking is purely business. When you now come to our banking halls, you feel as if try to attend our AGM or you are invited to our dinner. You think as if you are attending a national conference, because you see all sorts of people from different parts of this country. In terms of customer, in terms of staff strength, we are their boss. It's not just for Muslims. Not only being a customer or a staff, a non-Muslim can even be a shareholder. Are you surprised?
No, I'm not. Because it's a matter of money.
It's business.
Yes.
If my intention is to do Islamic banking as a Muslim, is to propagate that, and your own intention as a shareholder is to make profit, so be it. You be a shareholder and you make your profit. So you can be, in terms of staff, we have Muslims and non-Muslims. In terms of customers, I wish they will be here to give you testimonies. You'll be shocked to see the number of people that are patronizing us. And in terms of even the shareholders. So it's not a banking system for Muslims alone.
Can you list your achievements for me, at least? I know we may not list all of them, but some of the major achievements, at least in the last 10 years, where you've provided value.
Yeah. Before,
because I know you opened with 3 branches.
Yeah.
I think Abuja, Kano, and Kaduna.
Kaduna.
Yes.
You see, you are so good with this history.
I've been there for a while.
I wish JAIZ Bank, we can afford you. I could have just taken your services. Honestly,
you would ask me if I'm interested.
But I can't afford. Now that you are even going on the street, I don't even ask how much one needs to pay to register.
To register, it's affordable.
Coming back, as you rightly said, we started with 3 branches. We are now 45.
45.
And by the grace of God, we are going to close this year with 50, because additional 5 are already on the way. So
and you had a national license now?
Yes, since 2016.
Yes, since 2016.
Since 2016.
Okay, so at the end of this year, you close out with 50 branches,
50 branches
across the country?
Across the country.
Okay. Yeah. What other numbers, what other achievements?
So, you see, when you are talking of achievement, let me start this way. We regard it, we call it an achievement because today that misconceptions of 10, 20 years back, Islamic banking, what is it for, is no more there. And that is why you now have additional Islamic bank registered quietly.
Yes.
Nobody is even aware.
Yes, now.
And more are still coming. So we see that as an achievement, that we have facilitated the coming of others. We have smoothened the way
trailblazer
for others to come. And that is why we are so proud to be the pioneers. So that one itself is an achievement. Now, if you look at it in terms of licensing, it took JAIZ Bank over 12 years to obtain a license. Now you can get a license for Islamic banking within 1 to 3 years. That also is an achievement also because we have smoothened the way for others to come. In terms of employment, overall, we have over 2,000 staff strength, both direct and indirect. So you imagine a young institution taking care of 2,000 families.
When you started, what was the staff strength? Do you have an idea?
Around
when you started?
50,
okay.
50 something.
Okay.
And now you are talking of over 2,000. Now, when you are talking of balance sheet size,
yeah,
I know that is where you want to...
Yes, because I was coming to numbers. Let's talk the numbers.
Oh, is it easy for any organization to grow in Nigeria at double digits? We have been growing at double digits in almost all parameters for 6 consecutive years.
What's the double digits? Is it in tens or in 20s?
In tens.
Okay.
Which is still not easy.
Yes, I know.
In terms of balance deposit, we are over 200 billion naira in deposit. In terms of customer base, we have moved from #1 customer to over 1 million customers. In terms of financing, now we have financed over 200 billion naira direct. And we have invested at a point over 80 billion in federal school, which all Nigerians are enjoying.
Okay, so that brings me now to the sectors where JAIZ Bank has been financing. What areas of the economy are you concentrated on, or is the bank biased to in terms of, is it agriculture, is it real estate, is it? Because I know that you guys also build houses or follow people to build houses. I don't know that.
Yeah.
But
I hope you have gotten one. Okay. If
not from JAIZ.
Not from JAIZ.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
I tell you, in terms of mortgage, we are among the top banks in Nigeria. I could say we are number 2, so that I will leave you to struggle to get who is number one. In Abuja here, we are talking we are talking of over 10,000 houses delivered
to your customers. Or how do you do it?
That we finance together with our developers.
Okay.
So I can say we are into that real estate. In terms of market development, in terms of shops, the physical shops that we deliver, also over 10,000. And I can challenge you, you go and check the record. Where do you get that? And that's why we can take number 2 for this, so that you go and look for the number 1.
That's a very smart one.
In terms of SME,
yes, I was coming to that.
Small and medium enterprises, we have invested over 60 billion in terms of financing. Especially in the last 3 years, when COVID was trying to disgrace us, we decided to say, look, what can we do? What do we contribute? And we deliberately scaled down some of the conditions and we finance people, and we are not disappointed. So in terms of that SME, when you talk of agriculture, we have invested over 75 billion naira in agriculture. In
what area? Is it the rice production, or what areas of agriculture?
When you talk of even the popular
or
rice,
animal husbandry or whatever?
Both, but specifically when you mention the rice mills, we have been involved in the construction of these rice mills from scratch of over 35.
Is it in Abuja or across the country, or across where the rice belts are?
Across.
Okay.
Over 35. And I can also tell you which bank will you now get that record. 35, over 35 solid factories, and that we are working together as partners. So you see, and that is why we are here to celebrate that 10 years, to share with people like you, to tell the whole world.
And I felicitate with you. I also felicitate with the regulator, Central Bank of Nigeria. I'm not their spokesperson, but I also know a lot of work went on there many years ago. You know, Islamic banking. I'm a bit happy that, you know, that we're all alive to see that at least the pioneer bank that was licensed at that time can come and celebrate a decade later. But you were talking about sectors, and I'm a bit biased this morning. Is JAIZ Bank contributing to like women development, women empowerment? Do you also finance like women-owned
You see, when we are talking of financial inclusion,
yes, that's why I asked.
We have to look at and say sentimentally, what can we do? So we have what we call JAPIC, JAIZ Financial Inclusion Centers, and we have some pilot branches that specifically or mostly were dealing with women.
Okay.
And today, I'm not saying the men are not good when it comes to that, but we have recorded the lowest non-performing in that sector.
It's not just JAIZ Bank, it's globally. Women, we don't like owing, we pay back. We are very good. We are not debt owners.
Thanks. We'll commend you for that. So I tell you, in terms of financial inclusions, we have some centers that we dedicated specifically for the women, and they are doing wonderfully well.
Now, I know that your bank's mission is to improve lives through ethical finance. If we take a look at the last 10 years, how would you say that your bank has contributed to the economic development of Nigeria? Since you're a pioneer, I know all what you've been reading out is also contribution. But are there other things that you can specifically point out?
You see, when you say you want to make life better, you are starting with the provision of an alternative. Our model of banking is an alternative to a conventional banking that has been with us for hundreds of years. So the mere fact that somebody is coming with an alternative, a very competitive alternative, is also something we are very proud of. Now, that alternative, and that is why we don't see other Islamic banks as competitors. Because the sky, as they usually say, is too wide for the stars to clash. So we don't see other Islamic, but we see the general banking sector as where we are competing, because we are providing an alternative banking. We are providing something that is much more attractive. We are providing a type of business that you can feel it, that your bank is your partner. We are not only providing you with a credit where the business is bad, that even if when you are inside your grave, the interest will continue to accumulate. But we are providing a type of business that you can touch, you can feel, is very physical. That we are together with you. If you are happy, we are happy because we are sharing profit. So these are things that we can say in the last 10 years we have actually achieved. And it's not easy for young people around, and you are giving them support in terms of financing. You are encouraging them to not to be on the street, but to actually be productive, to be employers of their own labor, to also feel as if, yes, we are very proud to be Nigerians and we can do this.
What came to my mind now is Sukuk bonds. The FG at the time floated the Sukuk bond, and all of, which is Islamic bonds. You know, those are Islamic finance terms. You know, Sukuk bonds. Was JAIZ Bank part of how did you?
Yeah, you see, I don't want to go into but let's be very specific. The money that federal government attracted through Sukuk, every Nigerian now, you can tell you that he has seen where the money went to. Because when you went into road construction, you have to identify that from point A to point B, we are using Sukuk money to do this, which all Nigerians can testify that at least when you travel, you see the Sukuk sign and you see the road. And that is also, so in that Sukuk, at a point, we invested close to 100 billion in that Sukuk, which was used to do the road construction, which all Nigerians are now seeing.
Okay, I'm also interested in sectors such as non-oil exports. I don't know how far you are perhaps helping or partnering with your customers, because there is the clamor right now that we need to move from oil to non-oil.
But I hope you now agree with me that I wish we can afford your services. Because you are touching areas that we are already into, or we are planning to expand. Because for us to be in business without looking into the non-oil export, it's like we're not telling ourselves the truth. We need to encourage non-oil export, because this country is so blessed. You have quite an appreciable number of items that you can export. Something that you don't even imagine. When you export, people are looking for it there. And the more you export, the more you lessen the burden on the naira. Because there's so much foreign exchange now. So no matter how little you do a business that will bring a foreign exchange, we are into it. And that is why we have a specific desk that is for export. And we are even trying to expand that desk to see what we can do. Are you aware that come December 2022, all the support of this forex that is coming from the central bank is going to stop?
Yes, the governor mentioned it earlier this year, that the banks will go sort their own FX.
So the only way out is now to try to encourage this export. And I wish part of your students, we can partner with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10.
So you all are listening right now. You should be in that program next month, September 17, PABAM. For those of you small, because at least my vision too is, because I've also noticed the gap that no one is listening to nano, micro and small businesses in Nigeria. And they do make up a very large chunk, about 84% of jobs and 96% of employment. So see you there September 17th. And perhaps JAIZ Bank, if you heard it from their mouth. Now, let's take a look at, okay, since we're talking about non-oil export, what came to my mind is the Central Bank of Nigeria launched the RT 200 billion program. I don't know if that's to generate FX. Is JAIZ Bank also part of this with your non-oil export desk?
We are also part of it, because anything coming from the central bank is something that is coming from the family. We need to see how we support it and make it work, because that good policy is to now encourage people to bring in the FX here and see how we can utilize it and cushion the pressure that we are now putting on the naira.
Okay, let's take a look at your vision of building the second largest non-interest bank in sub-Saharan Africa in 10 years. Have you been able to achieve it, or is still a journey?
It's a journey, it's a vision, but you need to be up to help. Nigeria is so blessed in all ramifications. When you get out of this country, you discover the market you are going to look for is already here with you. So why should you quickly venture out while you have not taken care of your immediate environment? We are trying to see how we strengthen ourselves locally. We are also trying to see how we expand on the acceptability. We are trying to see how we capture more of the Nigerian market. So we now begin to think of going outside.
Okay. So is your vision part of perhaps going to other parts of Africa?
Yeah.
Or how would you, to what extent will you capture Nigeria before you start thinking of Africa? Now you said by the end of this year you have 50 branches.
Yeah.
To what extent do you want to capture Nigeria, then you move into perhaps other African countries?
It's not with a specific timeline or to say in 1 year, 2 years or 3 years, but it's part of our plan. And we are trying, like I said, let us be strong at home, and that will push us to now begin to look at other markets.
Okay. What has return for shareholders been like? JAIZ Bank.
I'm talking to Nancy, Moneyline. What have you reported last year?
I know that you do your AGMs and co, but at least for people to hear, what has it been like? Report to your shareholders, perhaps in terms of numbers and all of that.
You see, in terms of percentage, when you look at the report from Naira Matrix, you now see JAIZ Bank was among the top in terms of shareholders' value. In the last 2 years, we have started to pay dividend, and by the grace of God, this will be the third one we are paying, and we hope to maintain it.
So, at least shareholders' value has been increased in the last 3 years.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. You did say earlier that you are not so particular about competitors, and I want to go back to that.
Okay.
You're not afraid of competitors, because there have been some competitors coming into your sector. I don't want to call names, but
when you say, like I mentioned, the sky.
Yeah, it's big enough.
It's big enough. It's too wide for stars to clash. And we are not. If you also recall, I say we have never taken anything for granted. So we are not saying the competitors coming into this field, they are not relevant, they are not a threat to us, or we are unmindful of them. No. We are very mindful of no matter how small a competitor is, but we are saying when you are in a relay and you begin to look at side by side, you are likely to be distracted. We are already looking at the larger Nigeria. We are already looking at those conventional banks that have been in business for over 100 years, and we are saying they are our target. And we are also looking at Nigeria in general. Up to today, if you look at the number of people excluded financially, even if you try to capture those and you put them into your customer base, it's also another virgin market that you can tap into. So we are so blessed, is depending on where you are looking at. That initial statement was to tell you we are not going to be distracted in any way by the activity of any competitor. Meanwhile, those people that I know you are talking that you are calling competitors, we paved the way for them to come because we became very profitable. We attracted them into the business. The way it took us over 12 years to get a license, some people are now getting a license in a very short period of time. So we see that as even achievement to us. And that is why we said the banking industry in general, we are playing into that industry. We are not limiting ourselves to say we are only an Islamic bank and we begin to look at some Muslim communities. No. We are going into the larger society to play.
Okay. I want to be a bit specific here, and I don't know if the regulator has been trying to promote even pensions, you know, because there are also variables in the Islamic space too.
Yeah. So thank you very much. You see, there is no bank that can operate without products. And let me be specific on the bottom of the pyramid structure, where we have products relating to the SMEs, where we have an auto finance product that will facilitate people to buy vehicles, where we have mortgage facilities, where we have special product that talks about leasing, where we have not only leasing, we can even lease service. We call it Ijara service. Now you are looking for some of these your students, and you have about 2,000 of them that are very interested, but unfortunately they cannot afford to pay your registration fees. There is a way we can sit down, package it, and see how do we finance them to pay those registration fees, so that even when they graduate, we now see how do we help them and they pay gradually. You can now think of somebody that is looking for to pay for medical services, and we now see, okay, how do we come up, because we have a product that support that. We have a product that support the payment of school fees. These are all services that we are looking. And when you now go up the ladder, we have product that will facilitate for you to acquire machineries. We have product that will facilitate for you to import. We have product that will relate to export. So like I said, no bank can operate without such products. And we have quite a number of them depending on the sector. When it comes to education, we also have fantastic product that will enable you, whether you are a school owner or you are now just a service provider, and we can support that also.
Okay, let's take a look at the outlook for the non-interest or interest-free finance in Nigeria. Since you are the pioneer in that space, what can you see? The future, is it bright? Very bright. Look into your crystal ball. See my crystal ball there. Take a look at it. Is it bright?
I am sure even you can see that it's bright.
These are my studio lights.
To the extent that you can't even look at it very well because it's bright. The future of non-interest banking in Nigeria is bright. And you can see the way people are, the acceptability, and that is why we are doing it with passion. We are doing it with joy. Especially that now we have crossed that hurdle of the Islamization of a thing. Nobody is talking about it now. So
you think you've totally crossed it? Or there's still some kind of suspicion?
Is it the suspicion relating to that, I can tell you, is over. Over in the sense that, were you aware when 2 or 3 Islamic banks were licensed in Nigeria? Quietly. They were registered, they are licensed, and they are in business, and they are doing very good.
So the suspicion about, because I remember those days, it was like, oh no, Islamic banking is a ploy to Islamize Nigeria. So are you saying that suspicion is gone? Or it's about the suspicion of, no, they don't know how Islamic banking works.
Thank you so much.
So which one are you operating on? Or talking about?
Is the lack of that awareness.
That's where people like you, your bank, should also do more about communication.
That awareness, we are not saying 100% is gone, but it has gone substantially. Okay. Substantially to the extent that some other Islamic banks can be registered, you only see their offices commencing or starting operation. That enough is something that is encouraging. And I tell you, many more are coming. And the more you have those players, the more we begin to provide the alternative to Nigerians, and the more we begin to see as a real competitor to the banking family. So that is why right from day one, we have not limited ourselves as an Islamic bank. We say we are providing a banking service, because when you go to the market, does rain discriminate? When rain is falling, it falls on everybody's head. And when you enter into the market, like my MD used to say, when you enter into the market to buy something,
it doesn't know.
You look at the quality, you look at the price, you look at the service. If you even look at the smile of Nancy before you patronize, you get. So these are some of the things that are already encouraging us to say, look, don't see us just as Islamic bank, but look at the service. In terms of technology now, today, there is no bank that can thrive ignoring that.
I was coming to that.
We are investing into that already.
In terms of technology, digital banking, and the future of banking moving forward. I don't know, what is your idea, JAIZ Bank's idea in terms of technology moving forward? Because you're also competing with the bigger banks. The very big banks.
But the technology is the same.
It's the same,
The platform is the same.
It's the same. But they have more money. They have more money more than you.
But one thing with technology is when you can buy a handset of 1 million and I buy a handset of 100,000 and we chat.
That's a smart one. Because you can download the same apps on the 1 million naira phone and the 50,000 naira phone.
So what we are saying is, yes, technology is very expensive, but it's something that we have a lot of people now providing it. The only thing is you have to be very careful who are your partners in terms of technology, how reliable it is, so that you need to give comfort to your customers. You don't want to be seen using a technology that can be attacked easily. You don't want to be seen using a technology that cannot provide that comfort inside the bedroom for people to do their banking businesses. Insofar as you can provide that, then you are good for the business, and you can't avoid it. As I usually call it, it's a necessary evil. It has to.
Okay, I think we will take a break now. And when we come back from the break, we'll be rounding off, and I'll be asking you again to check into the crystal ball and tell me what it will be like for the next 10 years for you guys. Let's quickly take this break so that we can take our other, so that we can take our other messages. We'll be right back.
Do you want to live your life financially free? Do you want to take your business to the next level and succeed? Then the time is now.
Moneyline with Nancy on AIT presents
the Personal and Business Acceleration Masterclass, a live conference geared at revealing top secrets by elite business experts and life coaches in Nigeria on ways to improve yourself, business, and create wealth. Date, Saturday 17 September 2022. Venue, Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Plot 424. Agoyi Rossi Street, Maitama, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. To register, visit www.moneylinewithnancy.com/pabam.
For more inquiries and sponsorships, contact 0814-833-9088 or 0906-691-2600 and info@moneylinewithnancy.com. Don't miss this opportunity to greatness.
All right, just as we are trying to round up, I've been speaking with Dr. Siraju Salisu, the Executive Director North at JAIZ Bank. We've been looking at JAIZ Bank at 10. Okay, the ED is here. I'm not your spokesperson. So at least in the last few minutes, we've been talking about JAIZ Bank. For those that are just joining us, can you just use 1 minute to talk about, you know, why we're talking about this then? You know, come to the end of...
Yeah, we have been talking about our celebration for the 10 years, which we continue to appreciate all Nigerians for the patronage, and we continue to tell people that this young institution is now beginning to see that things are as good as expected. But we still have a very long way to go. We are not saying we have already arrived. We are just starting. And we will continue to do our best to contribute into the national development. And we also, most importantly, using this Islamic banking to unify the country, because we are in places that you don't expect us to be, and we are in places in the process of giving an explanation. Then you try to let people understand what you have been thinking is not what it is. We are here for business, and your business is even going to thrive. Your business is likely to be more profitable. Your business is likely to be more open when you partner with us.
Okay, what do you mean by saying that you're in places where I think you are not?
Yeah, because
some people will think that you are really biased to perhaps northern states, that is where your markets are.
When you look at some areas that we're already in Port Harcourt, and we have been in Port Harcourt since 2016. It's part of our plan very soon to be in most part of the Northeast. I didn't want to mention the specific areas, but we have 3 places that we are already in a very high discussion now. We want to be there. And when you look at the customer base, you will now see that, like I mentioned, when you come to our functions, you think as if you are in a national conference, because we're open to everybody.
Okay, so you'll be doing a celebration?
10 years, yes.
10 years when?
Monday.
On Monday.
And Tuesday. The AGM is on Tuesday.
The AGM is on Tuesday.
Yeah. And if we didn't see you there, it means something else. You need to be there.
That's a threat on national television.
You need to be there.
Okay, I'll try and be there.
Thank you.
Now, let's take a look at the next decade. JAIZ Bank at 20, what it will look like. I hope that we'll all be alive by God's grace then, also to talk about JAIZ Bank at 20. What will it be like?
Thank you so much for this, because some people actually sacrifice their time, their resources for us to come here and do 10-year celebration. We that are at the moment taking charge will also make sure that we continue to build on their successes. And these successes could be in terms of services, could be in terms of capacity building, could be in terms of business expansion, so that people that will come behind us will also be here to celebrate and say, look, we have come a long way. We are not talking of 10, 20 years. We are talking of for a very long period of time to come. We are very mindful of the fact that in most part of Africa, businesses doesn't last longer. But the way we established this, we did it to be in a very sustainable way. So we're looking at the next 10 years, by the special grace of God, to be very bright, very the opportunities are so wide that we will continue to grow. We are not likely to be talking of 50 branches, and I will not give you number of branches to come because every day the model is changing. If it is in those years that the strength of a bank is dependent on the number of branches.
Now it might not be.
It might not be.
Because of the digital banking and all of that, banking halls, some banks are even closing
branches.
Yeah.
It's just about the reach out. So we are talking of, in terms of customer base, 1 million, you are looking at the multiple of it because verifiably you can see that we have been growing consecutively at that double digit like I mentioned.
Okay, just before we round up, what came to my mind also now is the development of fintechs. These fintech apps. Is it is it a threat to you guys?
No, you see, if you say it's not per se a threat, but it's a challenge. Challenge in the sense that when somebody comes with something new and you see him trying to push you out of business, naturally you have to react. Okay. And the reaction here is either you are ahead of him in terms of service provision or he is ahead of you. And when the competition is ahead of you, you are indirectly like saying you have given up, you are out of business. So we didn't see them as a threat, but we see them as a challenge. And we are standing up to those challenges to see how we remain in perfect business in terms of service provision.
Okay, just before we go, there's a comment coming in from Danjuma, and he says, can you give some clarification on the Jasmine market that JAIZ Bank promised to rehabilitate at a sum of 10 billion naira for 40 years, bringing some uproar in the state? I don't know if you have, yes, to see that people are watching.
Yeah, and I appreciate this. We are here discussing result. We are here celebrating achievement. We are not here to discuss effort.
Oh, so you are evading it. So another time we'll discuss efforts.
Try together. We are here discussing achievements. We are here discussing results. We are not on this table discussing efforts.
Okay, let me just allow it slide. That after the show we'll talk about that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much for coming. I think we've exhausted like almost everything we want to talk about, isn't it? Yeah. Or is there any other thing you want to say?
No, it's I have to personally appreciate you. You, when I say personally, I mean you, Nancy, because you have faithfully remained with this Moneyline for a very long period of time. Not so many people achieve that. And that is meaning that you believe in it and you continue. And we will also join you in prayer that God will sustain you and will see you through. And you are also coming with some beautiful product that there is nothing wrong that we partner and see how we make it, because we are always looking for a win-win situation. Like I said, we are not an NGO. We are here to make profit. I have seen today in that your advert there is a way we can partner with you and we also make profit. And we are going to do that.
So all of you should see you in September. JAIZ Bank partnering with us. You've heard it from the mouth of the ED. This is coming as a surprise to me. You know, it's not something that we planned. So thank you very much. We'll talk about that. For the Personal and Business Acceleration Masterclass, which Moneyline with Nancy has put together. And why we did put it together is because we've noticed that there's a gap. There is no one standing for the nano, micro, and small businesses. And this show has come to do that. In terms of the knowledge, you need to even know stuff about personal finance, how to keep up with your business, especially in this period. And we're assembling a great team of speakers that will be there with me on the 17th of September 2022. All we need right now is for you to register. And I'm hoping also that you will get to hear more from JAIZ Bank and how they will partner with your business for profit. So go to the website right now and register. Very chickening money. If you go there, you will just see that it's something like a CSR from this show to you. So thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've been speaking with Dr. Sirajo Salisu, Executive Director North at JAIZ Bank at 10. That's the much we can take on the show at today. I will see you all again tomorrow, God willing. Be the best you can be and be that change that you want to see. I am Nancy.